Intuitively, we know that a limit often refers to a barrier, something unpassable. In mathematics, though, the idea gets more specialized with many technical details piled on it. So in a bid to help you truly understand limits, in this video, we'll be talking about the idea of limits with graphs, the left and right hand limits, and wrap things up by speaking about when a limit exists and when it doesn't exist. A limit can be defined as the value a function approaches when it goes to an x value. Now, I'll assume you are new to the idea of functions and limits, but even if you aren't, I bet it's wouldn't hurt to have a look at them. A function is a rule, one that gives a particular output for a particular input. And normally, when we plot graphs of how functions behave, we often see relationships like this. Graphs like this helps give us a look at functions, if the point is to understand how the functions behave. There are several examples of functions we can use, but for simplicity's sake, let's use this one. To see what I said earlier about one input and one output in action, notice how for a particular value of x, the function computes just one value of y. Here is where limits come to play. A limit is saying, hey, for this particular value of x, if we decide to play around and approach x slowly, we get a value that slowly approaches this particular value of y. One thing to note about limits is that the x value never actually gets to the planned x value. But as it gets closer and closer, we notice that we are getting closer and closer to a particular y value. That y value is our limits. Note that in textbooks of several materials, this idea is clearly shown as the limits of f of x as x approaches a is equal to L. A is simply the number that x value is approaching. L is the value of the function when it's supposed to approach that x value. Now that we understand what a limit is, let's take a look at what happens for a limit to exist or for a limit to not exist. To start off, for us to determine whether a limit exists or not, there are two key terms we have to be aware of: the left-hand limit and the right-hand limit. The left-hand limit simply tells us the y value as the x value approaches from the left, while the right-hand limit tells us the y value as the x value approaches from the right. You would think that the values of y should always be the same every time, but it is not always so. Take for example this function. If we look at the left and right hand limits here, we can clearly see that they are not approaching the same value of y. So in short, the left hand limit is not equal to the right hand limit. Whenever this happens, we say the limit does not exist. If the opposite is true, where we have the left-hand limit equating to the right-hand limit, we say that the limit exists. So that's it about limits. If you like the video, leave a thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe. I typically make tutorial content. I'm also making an animated series like this video, so I'll leave a link to similar videos like this in case of you like this type of video. Thank you for watching.